Thank you, Reverend Margaret Morgan.
Thank you.
Okay, let me put this stuff over here. So it is a tradition in February to speak about love. The month of, it should be every month of love, but we concentrate on love in February, so we're going to explore that topic. And I know that many people are not in the romantic relationships and sometimes cringe at the thought of, oh no, not love. But this isn't that kind of love that we're talking about. So this month you are safe to come here because the love that we are talking about is a divine love. It is that love that is changeless. That is the most important love we could ever move into. And as I said last week, and I feel like I need to say it again, we're living in such times of turmoil with everything that's going on that it can feel very unsettling. And we don't ignore that here. We know that there are really some heavy-duty things, besides our own personal things that are going on, but in the political realm of life, there are a lot of things going on. But we want Joyful Gathering to be a place where we can come and forget that for an hour and a half, where we can come and we can talk about spiritual truth, which is the only true reality that exists, that the love of God is eternal. It's not something that is in for 4 years and out. It's something that is eternal. So that's what I want us to always go back to. There is a major shift in consciousness going on. We've been talking about it for about 10 years, I think. And guess what? This is what it looks like. It looks like chaos. It looks like all kinds of things are falling apart and going the way we want or not going the way we want, whatever it is. But this is the shift in consciousness, and we are the ones that need to be really strong in our spirituality, in the spiritual truth that we teach here. Okay, with that said, we can go on with a talk on love. We love everyone all the time. But the whole topic this month is being on the wings of love. So I invite us all to spread our wings and to fly a little bit, and we're going to talk about that, because it's the wings of love of divine. So each week of the month, we're looking at different aspects of L-O-V-E. It's an acronym, I love that, of the divine, as we do spread those wings. So L, we started the month earlier. We did this last month, and it was light and laughter. Remember that? We had a good laugh. We had some good laughs last Sunday. It was fun. And today, we're exploring the O part of it, which is the omnipresent, the omniscience, and the omnipotent. And we're going to talk about that for the whole talk. In case you don't know what those words mean, you will know by the end of today. And next week is for vision and vitality. One of my favorite words is vitality. So that's what next week will be. And then the final one will be E for enlightened enthusiasm. So that's another word I love. Enthusiasm. It's a wonderful word. Makes me very happy. Okay, so today God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience, or the title that I broke it down to, is the allness of God's presence, God's love. How many of us have learned about this in other religions? Yes. And it might have been the all-knowing, the all-powerful, the all-present God. Okay? I certainly did, in my many, many, many years of Catholicism. So God is omnipresent, meaning everywhere, all of the time. And I have a little short story about God's omnipresence to bring it home to us. The children were lined up in a cafeteria of a Catholic elementary school for lunch. At the head of the table was a large pile of apples, and they were on a tray. The nun had made a note and posted it on the apple tray, "Take only one, God is watching." Moving along further down that lunch line, at the other end of the table was a big plate of chocolate chip cookies. And a child had written a note that said, "Take all you want, God is watching the apples." the apples. But this is not a judging God, so you can take all the apples or all the chocolate chip cookies, which is where I would go, that you want. You will not be judged. You will not be. God is omnipotent, meaning all power and all powerful. And God is omniscient, meaning all-knowing. So, how many of us found the idea of an ever-present, all-powerful, all-knowing judge, condemner a bit troubling as we were growing up? I think most of you would not really be here, and this is not to say it's wrong or right. I mean, I have a brother that's going to be a deacon very soon, so I mean, I honor everyone's religion, but I'm just personally, myself, not comfortable with a judging God of fear. It makes me really uncomfortable. There's enough of that on this planet. This is where I come to be uplifted, and to be uplifted, I have to know that God is about love. And if God is truly unconditional love, there can be no opposite to it. How can there be opposite to unconditional love? There cannot be. So for me, this resonates. All of Ernest Holmes and all of the New Thought writers and all of the great, because this is New Thought, ancient wisdom. So Socrates and Plato and all the great thinkers were speaking the same truths. We discussed this. Truth is truth. The Buddhists practice truth, spiritual truth. Truth is truth, however it comes to us, as long as it comes to us and makes us feel good. But nowhere, I tell you, in this book, is there anything about a condemning, judgmental God? This is our Science of Mind book. This is kind of like our Bible, even though we use Bible phrases often. There is nothing in here about fear. There is nothing in here about a condemning power. Nothing. So that's basically what our spirituality is founded on. That. Ernest Holmes. And he wrote, I'm going to have a few little quotes from him. On page 502, for those of you that take the page numbers. He wrote this: "It is impossible for a sane person to believe that God delights in condemning or damning anyone. God is natural goodness and eternal loving kindness and holds nothing against anyone." Or on 383, "No one judges us but ourselves. We need not fear either God or the devil. There is no devil and God is love." Take a breath on that one. In fact, nowhere in that book will you find anything that references to other than references to God as unconditional love. Don't you want to be in that flow? I want to be in that flow. I choose it. I don't care what people say about my belief in this spirituality. It means nothing to me. It's not my business. I know what makes me feel good, what makes me able to show up in the world, and I know many of you here, is basing and rooting and anchoring ourselves in the knowing that this is a power for good, and the good always has our back. The universe always has our back. I applaud that. I celebrate that. I want to know that. The rest, all these conditions that take place in our lives, they're all transitory. They're all transitory. The only eternal truth is that there is a divine love. That is the truth of who we are. So here are some other simple statements by Ernest Holmes. "Ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love, that God is love. And God is love. The love of God is omnipresent. It is the divine givingness, the eternal outpouring of spirit through its creations." And we are, each and every one of us, a creation of the divine. We are, each and every one of us. There's another one. "A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love and love is God." And I really like these moving words from Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore in his book, Talks on Truth. He writes this: "The love of God for his children is beyond description. So a love so tender and so deep that it cannot be mentioned in the same breath with the ordinary love as known by the world. The great love of being is deeper and wider than the thoughts of the world. And humanity that has encompassed this truth knows that since the beginning of language, the love of God is more powerful than any other love. So we believe that. We believe that God as love. And I'm going to keep saying that love word over and over again because I think we all need to hear it. Not judge is omnipresent. Everywhere, looking, surrounding, filling every nook and cranny of our being. Every nook and cranny of all that is. There is no place that this divine energy is not. And that is what it is. It is a divine energy that creates out of its own nature all of the huge galaxies and universes beyond what we even know. So much more. We don't know that much. We do not know that much, everyone. We are tiny specks on this little planet called Earth. But it's all about us, right? So it is so much larger than that. So we celebrate who we are on this planet. And we live, but we celebrate and live our life as that love in us. And really embody it. That's our task. Not to deepen our spirituality. It's already there, it's deep. It's to deepen our understanding of what it really means to us. Our personal relationship with this higher power. So we believe that God as love, not as judge, is omnipresent. And God as love, not as condemner, is omnipotent, all power and all powerful. Holmes tells us on page 302 of the Science of Mind book, all the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. The universe is inexhaustible. It is limitless, knows no bounds and no confines. We are not depending on a reed shaken by the wind, but on a principle of life itself. For all that we have or ever shall need, it is not some power or a great power. It is all-powerful. Yes, that is the truth. Let me do it again. It is not some power or a great power. It is all power. That's when we really surrender and let go and know that there's a power for good, and that power for good always supports us. That is stepping out in faith. That is knowing that no matter what takes place in our lives, and things take place in our lives that feel absolutely devastating, but there is a power. We have to remember that power that is always there present within us and with us, supporting us. So God as love, not as a critical parent, is omniscient, all-knowing. Holmes writes, we are surrounded by a mind or intelligence that knows everything. The abstract essence of beauty, truth, and wisdom coexists in the mind of the universe, and we exist in it and may draw from it. This kind of omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience is an entirely different story from our earlier understanding of the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present God. We've really moved into a different way of having a relationship with the divine. Don't you think? Mm-hmm. I know mine has improved tremendously. It really has. And it's something that, for me, I'll talk personally, that makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense to me, I can't blindly accept it. I was like that as a child. I was really a pain as a child. Because I would question all those nuns and priests, and you know how much they like to be questioned. But it never made sense to me. So, this made sense to me. The moment I first heard the words from the Science of Mind book, or Ernest Holmes, it was like, wow, this is what I've been feeling since I was a little child. So, it's a wonderful gift we give to ourselves as spirituality. And this is what I want us to get on a really deep level. I want to get into that today. I want us to embrace and to feel into it. Sometimes it helps if we have an illustration in this earthly plane. Because how do we experience God? Really, how do we experience God? Through our human experience. Sometimes it is internal, through feelings, through visions, when we're in meditation, through knowings, especially when we're in affirmative prayer and doing that whole big prayer, it's our knowing. Sometimes it's through outer experiences. So the illustration that I have for you comes from the Vietnamese Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh, and in his book, Peace is Every Step, you know him, he talks about the idea of interbeingness, meaning within everything is everything. So for our purposes this morning, I will expand that definition to say that within everything is everything, and that everything is an expression of God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscient love. If you really get that, then you will see clearly that this sheet of paper is God. The sheet of paper is God. But you don't see that? It's God. Then we have some work to do. And I always have some work to do. So I'm with you on this. According to Thich Nhat Hanh, floating above this piece of paper is a cloud. Why? Because without a cloud, there would be no rain. Without the rain, the trees cannot grow. And without trees, we have no paper. The cloud is essential for this paper to exist. If the cloud is not there, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. If we look into the sheet of paper even more deeply, we can see the sunshine in it. Without sunshine, the forest cannot grow. And we know that sunshine then is also in this sheet of paper. And as we continue to look into this paper, as we continue to look, we can see the logger who cut the tree and the river that brought the tree to the mill to make it into paper. And we see wheat, even if you're gluten-free wheat. We know that the logger cannot exist without his daily bread. And therefore the wheat that became his bread is also in this sheet of paper. The logger's father and mother are in the sheet of paper. When we look in this way, we see that without all of these things, this paper cannot exist. And looking more deeply, we can see ourselves in this paper, this sheet of paper also. This is not difficult to see because we are looking at this sheet of paper. It is part of our perception. This paper cannot exist unless you are looking at it. Your mind is in here then. And your mind and my mind are all interconnected. Everything is inside this sheet of paper. We cannot point out one thing that is not here. There's time, there's space, there's earth, there's rain, there's minerals in the soil, the sunshine, the cloud, the river, the heat. You and me, everything coexists. We all coexist. That's why we talk about the oneness. This is a spirituality that is very, very based in the unity of all life and of oneness. Because we are all interconnected. Whether we like it or not, we can say I'm interconnected, but not with those people, not with that one, not with this one. But we are, in true reality, we are all interconnected. This piece of paper, then, is a physical manifestation of God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. God's love, God's everything is in this sheet of paper. And so, we discover the reality of God's presence. an almighty being within you now, within you, within me, within all that exists. And whatever may be going on in your life right now, if there is discord, if there is disease, discomfort, distress, know that God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience, that all that love are perfectly in it as well. All of that love is who we are. The essence, the God spark, the infinite beingness of God is the truth of who we are eternally. We come in and we leave, and we are in it right now. If you're in the room and you're sitting in a chair, you're in it right now. We're alive. And so we're still alive even as we pass on to the next round. But as we pass on, we take with us, because we can't leave it behind. It's interconnected. It's everywhere. The God light, the God love. And so we discover the reality of divine presence, an almighty love within each and every one of us. And whatever might be going on, we still hold that faith. We turn within, we take a breath, and remember to turn within and know that we are not alone. Call a revelation of truth forth in any of these areas of your life by recognizing your oneness, your unified self with the love of God. You are heir to the kingdom of the divine, and as such, you were born with this light in us. Many of us, it's been not distinguished, it's been covered up. It's been muddied, it's been darkened, but it's still there like the sun behind the clouds. It will always be shining. Jesus said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set ye free." Many of us know this. We know this truth. We all know it intellectually. Some of us know it intellectually. But it remains just an intellectual process, because our intellect must be spiritualized. Our intellect must be spiritualized, must be brought into the heart where we really feel it, live it, and practice it. We often can live a kind of surface life. Many people do. We know about a lot of things. We have a lot of knowledge. We know how things work. Brilliant. But not ever understanding. We give new birth to ourselves by really knowing the truth and practicing it. Yeah, we can slip for a minute, but we don't stay in the nightmare. We don't stay in the discord. We don't stay in the suffering. We bring God into it. God's into it anyway, but we bring our awareness, let me say, of the divine into our every circumstance, our every situation. The time will come when we realize there is nothing to heal. That's perfection. That's true healing. There is only something to know, something to be revealed. And that something to know is that God's love is everywhere present, all-powerful, all-knowing. And that power needs to be known, that that love is your love. Let us not forget that. Let us not forget that. New Thought founder, master teacher, Emma Curtis Hopkins. Scientific Mental Christian Practice is a book that we use in our Roots class, and she writes some very interesting, powerful affirmations. So we're going to go over them together. I'm gonna have you repeat part of it. I'll tell you when not to. But repeat this after me. The good I am seeking is my God is my life.
The good I am seeking is my God is my life.
The good I am seeking is my health, God is my health.
The good I am seeking is my health, God is my health.
And power position, to really take it in. The good I am seeking is my strength, God is my strength.
The good I am seeking is my strength, God is my strength.
The good I am seeking is my support, God is my support.
The good I am seeking is my support, God is my support.
Life is God.
Life is God.
Truth is God.
Truth is God.
Love is God.
Love is God.
Substance is God.
Substance is God.
She continues, oh, I won't make you go through this whole thing. Briefly, she continues. God is intelligence, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. God is life, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. God is truth, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. God is love, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. I told you we're going to get those words today. So Emma tells us this. Let me read that, and then I'm going to end with a very brief meditation. So Emma tells us this in her book. Have some special time to make these statements of being. They're in that book. This will make you a great thinker. The mind of God will think through you. The words of God will speak through you. The joy of God will sing through you. The skill of spirit will work miracles through you. The beauty of God will inspire you, and the love of God will melt the hard lot of humankind before you. You will be so one with your words that you will be able to say with Jesus Christ, I and the Father am one, are one. I and the Father are one. You will drop off the garments of flesh, and you will see that by speaking truth, you are spirit, and that by speaking truth, you are omnipotent. Very powerful woman, a mystic. So I want to end our talk today with a short meditation that